After some delays, we have finally finished up our work on the Coverlay dash cover. And as you can see, I've got it done in black primer so I can get it really smoothed out very well and get all the fine high spots and low spots removed. And it looks really good to add leather or vinyl. What I'm going to do is use leather, and we'll take a look at the options that I would use now. As you can see, I smoothed out that swale in the dashboard where it's completely smooth now, completely smoothed out. And you can see we really hit the door area very well and got it roughed out so it accepts the leather pretty well. There are a couple little waves there, but they're going to be not noticeable by the time I add the leather. You can see we got the deck there smoothed out really nicely, and everything's just looking spectacular. With the black paint on there, we really get a good idea of the high spots and low spots, and you can see for the most part it's really good to add leather. The black paint is really just a sealer coat to cover the primer and polyvance and get it ready to accept the glue that's going to hold the leather on. I'm going to try it with some different light to get some different light on it so you can see how well I've hidden the hatch in the door and gotten all these imperfections smoothed out. It's come really far from where we started, and now it's ready to accept a nice piece of leather from the tannery in New York. I got all the products I used to repair this part and the leather itself from Amazon.com. And you can find many things on Amazon.com to help you do projects just like this one. As you can see, I really did a fine level of detail over the top there and got rid of that swale that was there in the, you'll see in the initial video how it used to have a bump there. Now it's nice and progressive like it should be. I'm not too worried about these little imperfections. They're going to be filled in with the glue that's going to attach to the leather. So the next thing to do now is to spray this with the glue, and I'll show you what we're going to do. We are going to use the 3M General Purpose 45 Spray Adhesive. 3M General Purpose 45 Spray Adhesive. That's for plastics and other products, and that's going to help the leather bond to this plastic really well. Let's take a look at some of our options here. What we have here is a 3M piece of vinyl. See that? It's like a textured vinyl look of and it's basically adhesive vinyl wrap, like a vinyl wrap you would put on a car. Now I could use this, a whole sheet of this vinyl wrap. As you can see, when I just tape it and pull it around, then it would actually look really decent on there. It would actually look very good. And this is basically the Vivid, it's made by Vivid, and it's actually a textured vinyl leather look. You see that? And I could go with this, and I could use this product, and it would work out very well and look really great. However, what I've decided to do is go a little step up and order some leather from the tannery. And what I have here is some black leather that's going to go really nice with the leather console that I've already done. Already done the center console in black leather, and now I'm going to repeat that by using the same black leather. So although this vinyl would look great, we're just going to go ahead and pop that off. Hold on. And move that over here. And we're going to go with the black leather. It's a much better option. It's going to match the black leather center console that I've already done. And we're going to have a really nice high quality result. Hang out the black leather, and I've got it on the couch so I can easily move it around and maneuver around the part. And what I'm doing now is I'm just laying out the black leather to see if there's any imperfections that I want to avoid when I'm laying the leather out, right? And seeing how it's actually going to lay, and it seems it's going to lay on the part just really well. Almost like this piece of leather was made for it. And it just seems that I'm just going to let it lay out a little bit and let it settle on the part. and it will start to absorb that shape. And as you can see, we're going to get just a spectacular result once this is all done up with actual leather. This is kind of a rough textured leather, which I really like. You know, you see a lot of new cars with the clean leather look. That's appreciable, but this is an older car, and I wanted to have that kind of rough textured look, like it's been weathered a little bit, like an old horse. And I don't really mind that so much. And I think it's just going to lay out beautiful. I'm letting it lay out so all the wrinkles come out of the leather, and then it actually gets to lay on there nicely. I'll go over it with a heat gun and a steam gun. I have a steam gun, and then I'll dry it up just a little bit with a heat gun just to make sure I get that texture laid out. You see here we have a little imperfection we want to watch for, and we'll have to see if we can move it around to avoid that imperfection. We have plenty of room here with the leather, and we'll just move it around, shift it a little bit back and forth till we make sure we don't get imperfections like this showing up in the final product. And here we are again, just looking it over and letting it set on the part. And really, I am really loving these texture marks on this leather, but I'm letting these wrinkles and so forth lay out. You know what I want? I like this high texture area where it's a natural leather and very like rawhide leather. It really looks spectacular. You see when I stretch it out there, it's going to look amazing. And then this part here is going to have this smoother part, and it looks very natural and very, you know, just amazing to me. And I think it's going to come out spectacular once it's all wrapped in real leather. Another option I was prepared to consider was the carbon fiber vinyl wrap by Vivid. This is a 6-dimensional carbon fiber wrap by Vivid, which is very, very cool. You see that? How it shimmers. But I think that doing the dashboard in such a material would probably, the fad would fade in a few years, and it would not stand the test of time as much as a nice leather dash. So for the sake of posterity and the life of the car, I'm going to go with a leather dash rather than like a carbon fiber vinyl, or even a vinyl wrap that you can use that's a textured vinyl. You see that? It looks very close to the leather, right? Has a very similar texture, but it just is very, very uniform and very, very even. Where this has a very natural look. You see, you just can't get that same kind of natural leather feel and look that you could from the vinyl. But that's just my opinion. And you know, another great option would be the carbon fiber vinyl wrap here, because that would just look spectacular driving down the road. But the problem is the reflection from this might glare when you're driving. And so even with this one, you see it has a very high sheen, where the leather is not going to do that. It's going to keep it very flat and dull. And really, if you wanted to, if you felt like it, you could actually flip the leather over and go with a felt, which this is from the Tannery in New York, and you can find them on Amazon.com. And you can see you can even do a real felt, genuine felt dash, and you can see that it is real leather. It is not the fake stuff. And it would just look spectacular as well. Me, I like the rustic leather look that has the same look as the part I've already completed here. You can see this just came out spectacular. It really did come out well. And I think that this part's going to come out the same. And then we're going to move on to the other parts of the interior to clean up. As you can see, I've also wrapped the control panel with vegan leather. This is actually vinyl. It's not actual leather, it's vegan leather. And I'm letting the glue dry up before I actually cut the holes. And this will basically blend in with this black leather piece and with this piece and just really look spectacular. It has a very even, uniform look. You see that? Very clean, uniform look. And now that the glue's dry, this is going to be very easy to cut right along these lines, and cut right along the lines just like a factory cut, and make it look like a factory part. But back to our dashboard cover here. We're going to go ahead and say forget the vinyl. We're going with leather from the Tannery, and you can find them on Amazon.com. And you know, you can go with the vinyl, which I really like, the carbon fiber as a second option. Or you could go with the vinyl, textured vinyl, right? Me, I choose to go with the leather. It's going to match the leather here that I've already done on this piece. That looks, I think it just looks spectacular. A little dirty there. And it's going to match the vegan leather, which is the vinyl you see that I used on this piece here. Forgive me that it took so much time for me to get this video to you guys. I've just been preoccupied with work and family issues, and now I'm back to working on the car. And as you can see, we have the black leather laid out. We're laying it out to see how it's going to lay and shifting the leather around to make sure we can get the right texture in the right spots. I'm just really liking the look of this leather. I think the leather looks spectacular. I think that this whole thing is going to come out really, really nicely. I'm shifting the leather around to get it to fit exactly the way I want, to get the right textures in the right areas. And so you can stretch it out a little bit and get some nice... I just love the look of this natural leather and how it feels. You know, you could go with the vinyl or the, you know, the carbon vinyl or the regular vinyl. You know, there's the regular vinyl and it has a very similar look. Try to get it to shake out. It has a very similar look. It has a very uniform look. And we also have the carbon fiber vinyl, which would also look spectacular. See, it has a 60 carbon fiber vinyl by Vivid. But I'm going to go with the leather from the tannery instead, to match all the other parts that I've done with leather from the tannery. And this is actually vegan leather, which is vinyl, that I've used on the control panel area. More to come with our G37 interior project. We're just going to say, forget the vinyl. We're going to go with leather. As you can see from the other parts that have been done, the black leather is going to be the best option. This is the black leather with quadruple stitching armrest cover. That's going to match with this center console very well. Then we have this I did with vinyl. You see it has the perforated vinyl and then the triple stitched leather. And then it comes up here to the, this is actually vinyl here, and this is the vegan vinyl, just like this. So this vinyl and this vinyl are going to match. This vegan will match that vegan. And you see we're going to have a really nice console area. It's going to look spectacular with the black leather. So I think I'm going to repeat it the same with this part and use the black leather on the dash as well. Here is a look at the whole center section that I've already done. And I just think it looks really, really hot with the triple stitch white stitching and the right here using the perforated vinyl and the leather everywhere. This looks spectacular. And as you can see, we have a really nice clean finish, very uniform finish on the dash control pad. But the rest of it I want to have that nice textured leather look. You can see we have it all along here. This looks spectacular when you stretch it properly. And I think it's going to look spectacular on the dash pad. It's going to match the white stitching here, the quadruple white stitching there, and quadruple white stitching there. And I also have the same for the dashboard right here. I have a panel that will fit right here with the quadruple stitching. So now you can see we're going to use the same rawhide black leather that we used on this part here. And you see when you stretch it out how beautiful it comes out, just amazing. And we're going to use that on the dash cover here to finish it up. And then we also have this quadruple stitching part that I ordered from Amazon as well, just like this part and the other center console piece, which I'll show you next. And although it's not going to be an exact match with this leather that I got from an upholsterer, it has the quadruple stitching for the you see there. That way I'll put that over the cluster bezel, But it's going to match well enough, and it's going to look pretty spectacular. And it'll match just like this will. Once it stretches out with a little bit of glue on it, it changes color just a little bit. So I think it's all going to match pretty well and look spectacular when it's done. I think what you'll see is that the cluster bezel will have a little bit of an off color compared to the leather just like this, but I think it's going to look spectacular. I don't think it will look bad. I think it will actually set it apart a little bit from the rest of the dash and give it a really cool look. And so now you see I'm looking at the leather and I'm finding the best spot for the texture that I'm looking for and still being able to cover the part, and we're doing a pretty good job of basically saving a lot of leather. There's going to be some end pieces here. We want to try to also, save the leather as much as possible. It is an actual living being, so we don't want to be wasteful with the leather. And that way we can use this on the other parts of the car that we still have left. It's going to look amazing.